A group of Air Force pilots, members of the Aggressor Squadron, have been specially trained to think and fly like Russians. Their job is to prepare their fellow pilots to better know the enemy in the event of war. As Peter Kent reports, these Top Gun pilots use old jets and sophisticated recording equipment to do their job.
The aggressors are not exactly crusty old fighter pilots, but they're certainly professors of the deadly craft of aerial combat. The aggressors are our Russians.
To wear the hammer and sickle scarf and the red name tag and everything else is just part of our job.
The theory behind the Aggressor Squadron is that for our young pilots in Europe, the next best thing to meeting a wave of MiGs for the first and possibly last time is to practice with Americans who have learned to think and fly like Russians.
These aren't stupid people we're talking about. The fact that they're regimented and they do things differently is a major lesson for everybody to learn.
Twice a year, every frontline U.S. F-15 pilot in Europe rendezvous with the aggressors for 2 weeks of air combat training. For fighter pilots like the F-15 jockeys, the first 10 actual missions in wartime are the most critical. Either they survive or they're shot down. The Aggressor Squadron was created because of the Air Force's disastrous experience in Vietnam. It's hoped the aggressors will help U.S. pilots in future wars get past those first 10 deadly missions.
You know, I don't really know that much about Vietnam. You know, I was a pup back then, so I didn't really live through it.
But Lieutenant Greg O'Connor and the other young F-15 pilots know there are life and death lessons to be learned from high Air Force losses 2 decades ago. The aggressors today are flying the same older generation F-5 fighters they used in the 70s. But their combination of experience and enthusiasm for each training fight are great equalizers in flying against the faster, high-tech packed F-15s.
Fighter pilots the world over are basically the same type of people. It's the way that they are trained to apply the tactics that we're talking about that makes a difference.
Soviet tactics are considered stiff and regimented by American pilots, but with the Soviets' 4-to-1 advantage and the chaos of battle, nothing can be taken for granted.
When you get the smoke trails, the debris, the parachutes, the beepers on guard, people blowing up, other people yelling in your ear, the comm jamming going on, your radars being jammed, who knows? But the thing is, most important, I think, is that if you don't train to the level at least we're talking about, you never will have the opportunity.
Context bandits, or your tanks and your bandits, 4-ship offset box, 20,000. Bandits.
The key moments of every simulated dogfight are recorded on gun cameras.
3, you're dead.
Fights on. 1, bandits at 010 for 23 miles. Continue south right now.
In the old days, training analysis depended on pilots' memories of each fight. Now the most important record is made on the ground in an electronics-packed trailer. Using data from each jet, this unit can display the aircraft and their maneuvers from any angle, including a live pilot's eye view.
4, you're dead. 4, you're dead.
Until this high-tech system came along, the winner of simulated dogfights was very often the pilot who shouted the loudest.
And I lose you down in the haze and I don't see you.
Today, after every flight, the aggressors and their students, the F-15 pilots, get together to play back the tapes of their battles, to find out who lived and who died and why.
Pretty big move in the vertical, which could attract a lot of attention.
As an American fighter pilot and the way you're trained and everything, you want to be a winner. And the guy you're fighting against wants to be a winner. And you have to be able to really make the learning situation such that you can both be winners.
Nobody's shooting live bullets or missiles. Until we start doing that, then who knows? You know, it's like cowboys and Indians. I killed you, no you didn't.
It's not so important, as we say, who shot John, but why John got shot, so it won't happen tomorrow.
More important, so it won't happen if and when American F-15 pilots in Europe are scrambled for a real dogfight.
The littlest mistake, and it's air-to-air combat, you know, one mistake's always your last.
Peter Kent, NBC News.